You know, as a kid, we played these adventure games that we made up. There's a big rock out in the woods. We called it, that could be a battleship, it could be an airplane, it could be whatever. And we would make up our stories as we went along, and our characterizations and so forth. And this was doing it in real life. I'm Richard Goodspeed, known throughout the world as Dick Goodspeed. I served in the U.S. Navy for 24 years. I'm a Naval Academy graduate, graduated in 1950, and retired from the Navy in 1970. My folks were concerned about putting me through college, and my brother, who was coming 4 years later, and they suggested that I apply to my congressman for an appointment to the service academies. That would be, in those days, this is 1945 or 1944. So I wrote to my congressman and told him I'd like to get an appointment to the Naval Academy, and he actually turned me down because I was 3 days too young. The next year he gave me a second alternate appointment. I received a telegram, which was the way we communicated in those days, from the Navy telling me to report to Annapolis for a physical. And I did pass the physical, and I was in. So I went and joined the USS Leyte in the Mediterranean at Piraeus, which is the port of Athens, Greece. And we went to 2 ports in the Med after Piraeus, and bingo, back to the States and for accelerated overhaul through the Panama Canal out to Korea. And we cruised up and down the coast of Korea for 4 months, launching our aircraft against the North Koreans and the Chinese. After 4 months, the Pacific Fleet ship that was supposed to be doing that, which had been in the yard for overhaul, they joined us and we came home. And I went straight from the ship to flight training to become a Navy pilot. I went through the helicopter training and got my qualification, and went to a helicopter squadron in Weeksville, North Carolina. This was an anti-submarine helicopter squadron, which was great, except that they didn't have any helicopters, because there weren't any helicopters right then that could carry the sonar that we used to locate submarines. Eventually, a couple of helicopters showed up. I learned to hunt submarines with helicopter sonar. With this squadron, which was Helicopter Anti-Submarine Squadron 3, abbreviated HS3, I made 1 cruise, and it was a 6-week cruise in the North Atlantic. And as you may know, the North Atlantic is noted for its bad weather, and sure enough, our carrier got into weather that was too tough for it, and it put into New York City to stay out of trouble, which of course was nice, because there are lots of things I could do in New York City that I like to do. Eventually that cruise ended, and my tour of duty with HS3 ended, and I went to graduate school, and I chose Princeton University. Went there for 1 year, got my master's. From Princeton, I went to Air Development Squadron 1, VX-1, in Key West, Florida, and I spent 2 years there. Here I am, arriving with my brand new master's degree in aeronautical engineering, and they made me assistant personnel officer and legal officer of the squadron. Eventually, I became a project officer and got my own project, which was to take a very heavy sonar that you tow through the water and put it in a helicopter and tow it from a helicopter. When that tour of duty ended, I got a very choice tour of duty, much to my surprise. I went to England, served with the Royal Navy on what we call exchange duty. As an anti-submarine training squadron, we train pilots to fly on instruments in bad weather and in a helicopter and also to hover over a spot and lower the sonar ball into the water there. And that was our main responsibility. One of the things that happened there, and something of which I'm very proud, I thought that that helicopter and the instrumentation in it and the GCAs on the ground were good enough that we should be able to make an approach and landing to an airfield that had a good GCA, ground controlled approach, in 0-0 conditions. 0-0 means zero ceiling. The ceiling is on the ground. That is, the base of the clouds is right on the ground, and zero visibility. You can't see the hand in front of your face. I had to get permission to do this. It was not, you're not allowed to just go and pull something like that. And Flag Officer Flying Training, FOFT as the Brits called him, was visiting our squadron one day, and my skipper allowed me to consult with Admiral Jick and get permission, or try to get permission, to do this 0-0 approach and landing. Admiral Jick said, "Show me." So we had, our helicopters were set up with orange glass, and we would give our students blue goggles. So when they put the blue goggles on, they couldn't see anything outside the helicopter. So we got Admiral Jick into one of those helicopters with a pair of blue goggles, took off and turned it over to him, and he made an approach to 50 feet above the tarmac at the end of the runway. Very successfully, very easily, no problems. So when he climbed out of the helicopter, he said, "Sir, you have your permission." So, "You have your permission, sir." I can't quite get some of that British accent anymore. I used to be pretty good at it. I wasn't playing games anymore, but I was doing the same sort of thing we were doing those childhood games as an adult, and for a purpose, partly to protect my country, or to let the world know that my country had a superb Navy that could go anywhere and do anything.